So my number one tip for college students and any student for maintaining health and wellness is breathing. Number one, it's the most constant supply source of energy and fuel. We don't do very good with 3 to 5 minutes without oxygen, and we do a lot better going days, weeks without food. It's the most constant. My favorite saying, probably from Chinese medicine, is the breath is the bridge between mind and body. And you think about that as a bridge, like this is something that connects two regions. This is where messages are sent, food is supplied, resources are supplied. We need a strong bridge or else these messages are lost, and it's hard. And if you can think of a bridge with ropes and cracked wooden boards and nails, you'd probably be scared as shit. To be on that, you'd be panicking, and it's ironic, right? Or is it coincidental, or is it just identical to the fact that when we breathe like this, it's panic breathing? Opening the mouth, using way more muscles than necessary. We don't need to do that all day long. And tightening muscles and breathing into a box creates panic, as opposed to breathing here and through the nose, getting oxygen close to the brain, and then using the diaphragm, pushing it out to pull air in through our nostrils. That keeps us calmer. It's the breath. It's the bridge between mind and body. I want that bridge to be made of steel and strong and indestructible, right? But it can be, everything destroys, everything can die. So if you can't, a lot of people have a hard time setting aside time to breathe for like minutes, where it's just like trying to be silent. There's so much stimulus around us nowadays that it's hard to focus. So what I would suggest is, when you wake up in the morning, give yourself a dedicated breath. The first breath of the day, just, all right, where's it going? Where do you feel it? Can you feel the diaphragm as big as possible? And then can you fill your lungs and feel them? Get it big, make it feel good, right? Like, have you ever tried to make your breath feel good and you've been struggling? Maybe it's because you keep trying to force it too much and you're breathing through the mouth and you're tensing up in the process. Put yourself in control. So start with 1, and then maybe it goes on to 3, then 5. And all of a sudden you're doing 10 breaths, and you're just trying to empty your mind. You're getting your day started, and that's meditating. You're doing it. All right, we got to get better at letting go as opposed to adding on. So breathe. Learn how to let go so that your mind can free up and it's not so condensed. That's the power of the breath. Breathing through the nose will bring that oxygen closer to your brain. It's going to make you breathe slower. That's going to slow your heart rate down. That can improve your circulation. It'll wind down your nervous system, which is the key to stress, which we don't want. Chronic stress, acute stress from exercise, and these things are good. They make us strong. They have endorphins that follow it, but we want to be more in control of our emotions and how we feel. So the breath, low intensity activity upon waking after you breathe. So maybe like, or even some self-myofascial release. I got a board right here for you. So take like a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, roll out your feet because you have a lot of nerve endings on your feet, and that's a great way of waking it up, getting your body more aware. And I like to think of it as being jolted up. Extra electricity, extra voltage in your body so that you're awake. And then you try some low intensity activity. Maybe you have a flight of stairs close by. You live in an upstairs apartment. You can skip steps. Try skipping a step. So you're going up 2 at a time, and it's like you're doing a step up. Now my suggestion with that is to, when you step onto this stair, get the heel there. Keep your knee over the ankle as much as you can and drive that knee out. Try to see your pinky toe on the inside of your knee from your angle. Driving that knee out, driving your knee through your heel to press up, and you'll feel it in your glutes and your quads. Get more muscles involved when you step. Don't overload your knee like this all the time. You know, our body's meant to move and bend in all sorts of ways, but if you overload and constantly do it, then you're constantly providing more stress and overloading that knee, but you get more muscles involved this way. More energy expenditure, more circulation throughout the hips and the legs, so that's good. You can also do some planks, some soleus pose on the forearms here. You can go push-ups, you can go reach, alternating. Give your body something to wake up the core. Supermans. I like doing supersets. You can do sets of 30 seconds. Hold the eye. The T, lifting the chest, the knees off the ground, head off the ground. Imagine a tennis ball between your knees, so you have to really lift up. Lift the chest as high as you can. Maybe even get into some yoga blocks so that you can advance the movement and the height. Waking up almost pretty much your entire posterior chain. Then you can do some light stretching. But get your body through some movement. Bend your joints. Lengthen and strengthen your body. Then this is like whenever you're studying at home doing homework, try to kneel. Kneeling is the exact opposite of sitting, in the sense that now we're not bending our hips, we're not flexing the hips and rounding the back, which is causing the issue. We're getting really, really tight psoas muscles, which limits our hip involvement, our glute involvement, and it gives us poor squatting mechanics. And our back's rounded, and we're putting all the force in this weight and the load onto our spine and our vertebrae, which we don't want, as well as our tailbone. And we want to kneel because now my hips are extended. I got my glutes squeezed. It's actually really challenging. You got to progress by going up from minutes to like 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, and then take little breaks, and eventually you can get to like where you're holding it for 30 to 50 minutes. But I think you should get more rest in between, like 10 to 15 minutes on, stand up walk, alternate. My glutes are squeezed, so now the antagonist muscle is shortened, which means the other muscle, protagonist, my psoas, which was originally being shortened, is now being lengthened. Now you got muscles involved, your brain's sharper. It feels better too. It's good for the back, strengthening your posterior chain, as opposed to straining it from hyperflexion and just putting yourself in a bad position. That's my word. So yeah, try that for now.